This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Coach, what's been the biggest difference in this group from the spring and things through 11 practices and talking?
Yeah, just the togetherness, guys coming together. You heard Jaden mention the brotherhood. I feel like those guys have really gotten closer throughout the summer. And me as a coach, that's what I wanted to see from the group.
Your last stop, when you look at Florida State before you got there, one of the worst pass defenses in the country. Fast forward to last year, I think you guys were fourth nationally. Got a similar situation. I don't think anybody's expecting you guys to jump fourth nationally, but I mean, obviously expecting a lot of improvement over last year.
Absolutely. I think we're headed in the right direction. It started with what I just said, coming together as a group with a lot of new faces in the room. And then just coming together to improve daily, and that's what those guys have done. They seek daily improvement. They have a coach-me-coach mindset. And as long as they continue to come to work every day, we'll continue to improve that stat for sure.
It looks like since Snacks went to the nickel that he stayed there, and Singletary, what have you made of that move right there?
Well, at first, we had to find the right guy at that corner. And, Nudie have really stepped up and done a good job. The addition of Jaheim to the room has really been a big addition. He's a smart kid, hadn't played a lot of football in college. Obviously, being at Georgia, he was able to be around some good coaches and in a good culture. And he's still young, but he's a smart player that retains information. He takes the meeting to the field, and that's what gives himself a chance. Keon has been a great addition as well. He's a very talented kid that has played a lot of football. I'm still pushing him to strain more. That's the thing. He got to practice more like the standard here at Arkansas. And it's getting better, but still got some improvement to do. Jalen Braxton, as you all mentioned earlier, he's a kid that's very talented. Hadn't played any college football. Him being here in the spring was really, really good for him. So right now we feel good with those four corners, and that's what allowed for us to move Snacks inside. Snacks is a guy that is very versatile. Right now we needed more depth at the hog position, which is nickel. And he's been a great addition. It's been a smooth transition for him. He's another high football IQ guy. So it wasn't hard for him to be able to slide inside and pick up like he'd been there already, and he has. So it's been a great move. And at the end of the day, we're just trying to find the best five to put on the field to get us in the best position to be successful.
Until today, in the fastballs that we see and the 2-on-2s and stuff, the DBs have, and especially yesterday, and I don't know if that carries through practice, but what have you just made of the competition aspect of how your DBs have played, the man stuff worked on?
Well, we started camp off by saying two things. We wanted to continue to stack good days. The very first day of camp wasn't a good day for us on the back end. But ever since then, we've stacked good days, and we've been consistent with doing that. And then we said every rep that we put on film has to be a competitive rep. If you put a non-competitive rep on tape, then you won't be on the field. So just putting the emphasis on competing every play and making every rep at practice a competitive rep. And that's what the guys have responded to.
Walcott pitching pretty hard for starting spot and getting that rotation, Coach.
Yeah, he has. Nothing obviously is solidified right now. He and we still have a lot of work to do between now and September the 2nd. But Al has done a phenomenal job, being that he missed the entire spring due to the injury, and was kind of like didn't get full going to July, I guess, if you will. So he's a great player, played a lot of good football. It's important to him. He shows up with a coach mindset, takes good notes in meetings, very detailed with the meetings and how he goes about things. So again, right now he's competing for the starting spot, but nothing is solidified right now.
Maybe have someone kind of like a Braxton at cornerback. Is Metcalf somebody can help you at safety at somewhat similar fashion?
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Again, him being here in the spring was really big for him. He's a smart kid that retains information as well. has a lot of talent. You know, he's a mature kid as well, beyond his years. You know, so for him, he's a kid that has ice in his veins, come from a really good high school. So I'm expecting for him to be a big impact to this defense this year.
I think we saw Jay Lou was with the second team at Hog today, but who are some guys competing for, like nothing solidified, but other than snacks that you're liking what you're seeing at the Hog position right now?
Oh, Jay Lou. I mean, you know, he still has some things to improve at, just like we all do. But Jalen is someone that is going to help this team in a big way. He's still competing for that spot. You know, so he's had a pretty good camp up until this point. Still got some things to clean up on in terms of communication and execution, but he's working every day to get to that point.
And rewinding back to your first year at Florida State, did you kind of bring up the struggles that secondary experience before you got there when trying to motivate? What lessons did you learn from that kind of turnaround at FSU that maybe you're applying to this group right now?
Yeah, I never look back to last year. You know, you obviously want to have an idea of what you're inheriting, if you will. But at the end of the day, it's about today and moving forward, not yesterday. You know, so what I do is go back and look at what are the things we did good or fairly good, and what's the biggest areas of improvement. And whatever those areas of improvement is, that's what we're going to emphasize. And coming here to Arkansas, I felt watching film and just getting some history of what went on last year. The first thing was just us coming together as a group. And it was the same way at Florida State. You know, I tell the guys all the time, if you want to go far, go together. If you want to get there fast, go by yourself. But it's a long journey, and we want to go far. So we're going to go together. And it's a brotherhood. And it's amazing how much you can accomplish just by bringing guys together and having some oneness, if you will. So I'm excited with the chemistry in the room, with where we're going. They know it's going to be a collective deal for us to be successful. It's a we and us mindset, not an I and me.
I think Jaheim maybe comes in as like one of the guys that was one of the higher ranked recruits, just going back to the high school days. What have you seen from him that's kind of stood out that it seems like he's making kind of a natural progression up the depth chart into one of those starting corners?
Yeah, well, he's a selfless kid. You know, he's someone that came in and really adapted to the guys as if he'd been here the whole time. Again, he's super talented, but the most important thing is his love for the sport. He loved football. And if you love football and you got talent, success is going to happen for you. So I'm so excited to coach him. Again, we needed a corner to come in and challenge the other guys to be better. And he's done that. And he's a kid that's going to have a phenomenal year for us.
Is Jalen Braxton maybe ahead of where you expected him to be at this point in camp?
Yes and no. And what I mean by that is, he's still a freshman, so to be a freshman competing with the twos and getting limited reps with the ones, that's a good spot to be in. I say no because I still don't know what he's going to be like when the stadium gets packed. I mean, so we still practicing right now. I look forward to seeing how he responds September the 2nd when we put him out there in Little Rock.
And just overall, after 11 practices, what are maybe some areas where you're really going to want to focus on moving forward?
Communication. That's the main thing for us. We want to play clean Razorback football. And, 10 guys can be playing the same call and one guy get the wrong call. And it's a breakdown in a defense on the back end. And as you know, we can't have any breakdowns because when something bad happens on the back end, we're the last level of defense and everybody in the stadium knows it. So at the end of the day, if we continue to communicate, we can fix the physical piece of it. But the mental piece and the communication is something that they have to take ownership in and be on the same page. And I'm confident that as long as we continue to improve our communication, execute the defense and do your job within the defense, we can play with anybody in the country. So I'm just excited to see, the steps that we must take moving forward. Again, it's a lot of work that still has to be done up until September 2nd. The communication is the first piece, and just continuing to be disciplined to do your job with the right technique and making sure your eyes are in the right spot, so communication and eye discipline, those are the biggest two things for me that I want to see as a coach improve with the group.
So Sam told us on Saturday both coordinators were in the press box. I wonder after it's over, you and Travis have the conversation how the operations went. What you think?
Yeah, it went better than expected. That was my first time down and Coach T. Will first time up. I've been in the box every year since I've been coaching. But at the end of the day, he's the play caller. It's better when you see things from up top as a coordinator, and I think he experienced and saw that on Saturday. So we still trying to figure out the dynamics as a staff, what's best, who's up, who's down. But he liked it more than he expected, and it'll be interesting to see just how we end up doing it. And at the end of the day, it's what's best as a staff for the players, So we just gonna continue to move the pieces around as a staff. We may do the same thing on Saturday, this upcoming scrimmage, or we may try something different. But by September the 2nd, we'll have it figured out.
Think about being down on the field.
It was good. Yeah, it was good being down in some chaos, if you will. Just I'm used to being up top where it's quiet. You can look down and see everything. But for me, I'm always keep my composure regardless. So I don't let all the chaos that may be going on the sideline affect my job responsibilities on game day.
There's a historical component that's going on with your defense right now, and I don't think Arkansas has ever had all African American defensive staff. What do you think about maybe being a part of that?
It's a blessing for me to be a part of it for sure. Regardless of race, you want to have a room of good men that are good football coaches. That's going to help Arkansas Razorbacks be the best that they can be. So the all African American part of it, that doesn't faze me. It's just about having the right group of young men or men around the table that's going to come together, be as one, and go help the kids be the best versions of themselves.
You and Darren and hit the ground running pretty good in recruiting. How big do you think it is for all you guys to have, kind of an SEC background, being from SEC State and such?
It definitely helps for sure. But at the end of the day, if you're a good person and you work at recruiting, and consistently stay in communication with the guys that you have as priorities, you'll have a chance. And again, I continue to say, if we can just get a kid on campus, we will be in it. That's the key for us. It's a little different being here at Arkansas compared to the last place I was at, even Coach T. Will. It was easier to get to Tallahassee on our team, and even Orlando, because those are destination location for tourists, so Fayetteville is a little more challenging to get to. But when we get them here on campus, this place sells itself. The people that we have in the facility, the staff that Coach Pittman has assembled, and then the facilities and the place. And it's Fayetteville. This is a great place. The NWA, if you will, Northwest Arkansas, this is a great place. So, for those recruits that we are identifying, if we get them here on campus, we're going to have a chance.
AJ's not here anymore, but you guys brought in 5, I think, defensive backs out of the transfer portal. What was your philosophy going in? I mean, I know you probably had connections with some guys, but probably not others. What was your philosophy going in, and just how you worked the portal?
Well, first off, obviously finding out the needs that we had on defense. And once we identified what those needs were, we had to go out and identify the right players first, because you watch the film before you do any research from a character standpoint. So once we watched the film and saw the guys that we felt had the physical attributes to help us, we then reached out and did our research on them to make sure that they're the right fit. It was some other high-level players that can come in that wasn't the right fit, but we made sure that we stuck true to who we are, the guys that can come in and be the right fit for the players that we already had. And that really could come in and obviously impact us on defense. And I feel like we did a phenomenal job, not only on the back end, but with the defensive line and the linebackers as well. Every kid that came in out of the portal, has been a great addition and has fit right into the defensive locker room.
When you say the right fit, are you talking more personality or technique?
Absolutely, all of the above. You know, the character part of it is really important. You know, it's some really high level players out there that can come in and have an I, me kind of mindset, but it has to be a we and us kind of mentality. So, you know, we wanted to make sure we found guys that was selfless, right? That was about the team, but also that can play SEC football. And I think we hit the jackpot with the guys that we got.
One of those guys is Al.
Yeah.
When he came in the room, he's like, "Hey, everybody," just like you did.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering what's the fit been like for Al, just in what he means to the room and who he is.
Yeah, he's a kid that makes it fun to come to work every day. You know, he has good energy. What you saw is what you get every day. And that's the thing that has rubbed off on the room. You know, like I hate leaving my family to come to work, but I love coming to work, if you will. And these kids are so fun to be around. And the best part of my day is when we start meetings with the players and they come in the building and they bring that energy and they consistent. I know exactly what I'm going to get out of each player. And it's been really good energy thus far.
Nobody wants some heat between now and the game. Y'all haven't had a lot of heat, but I guess that makes the players happier. What do you think about maybe the temperatures y'all been?
Well, that first week was a little warm. It was not warm, but hot, you know. So, but we've been fortunate. Coach Pittman has done a phenomenal job setting up the schedule for the day to be at the time of the day that's the coolest, if you will. And he's done a great job of taking care of the players. So, bottom line, we'll be acclimated enough to the temperatures with the forecast that we're going to get on game day. And I know Coach Pitt going to set everything up for those guys to be ready.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.